tuning into Let's Talk About It Media 21, where we talk hot topics, trending topics, what's going on around the world. So, we're going to talk the shutdown, we're going to talk benefits, possibly a little bit about celebrity news. We might get into that a little bit. But come on in, like the video, subscribe to the page, hit that like button. We got to get the likes up better. I don't know what people will be thinking about, but like the videos you guys come in. We're about right now and what's trending. It's kind of sad that some people feel that people that are in need shouldn't have what they need. We're doing everything else, but why are people that are in need not getting what they need? You know what I mean? On a bigger scale. So, some people don't need it. Some people do need it. And then what do you? And federal workers are working and they're not even getting paid. So one, they're not getting their check, but they're doing the work. And then people are kind of like, just go get another job. Do you know what that means for them to try to, if they're to be at work, they get fired. That does not mean that they'll be able to get um, assistance after that. So many people are trying to write it out as far as the federal workers. They're trying to do their job versus trying to find another job. But if they're doing the job, they should get their check. How would you feel if you're at work and you're not getting your check? So I need people to kind of chill out on that. But let me go ahead and get through my disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, supporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. We're going to get straight to the video.
Just Democrats. You also have one of the most conservative Republican senators, Josh Hawley, who says at least please move money around to feed people. Why not consider that?
Because if you deviate from the goal of reopening the entire, Chuck Schumer and the radicals over there will continue to play games with people's paychecks, their livelihoods. And if you do just part of this, it will reduce the pressure for them to do all of it, to do their basic job, and that is reopen the government.
That was House Speaker Mike Johnson yesterday, weighing in on the ongoing government shutdown. A reminder that Johnson sent House lawmakers home more than a month ago with no set return date. This as the Senate has adjourned until Monday. It comes as American military members won't miss a paycheck amid this shutdown, as the White House now says it will tap into 3 separate funding sources to get those troops paid. The Office of Management and Budget says the administration will cover $5.3 billion in military pay, in part by utilizing more than $2 billion from the tax cut and spending bill that was signed into law in July. Another $1.4 billion will come from the Research and Development account at the Pentagon, plus another $1.4 billion from the Department of Defense's procurement account. The New York Times reported billionaire Trump supporter Timothy Mellon also donated $130 million to help cover the costs of military pay during this shutdown. That amount, of course, covers just a small part of the Pentagon's troop pay budget. It's the backdrop to the story we've been talking about all week, and we will talk about with our panel now. Rebecca Piercy, she's the former political director for the Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, that presidential campaign. Also with us, Mark Bednar. He was head of communications for former Republican Speaker Kevin McCarthy. I used to bug him a lot when he was on the Hill. I'm glad that both of you are here because I think you span the political and the Congress so well. I think the biggest question that I've been asking senators all week, and I'll go to you first on this, Rebecca, is just what does it mean that SNAP benefits, people's basic ability to put food in the mouths of themselves and their families, has now become the latest political pressure point? What does that say?
It feels really awful. And I will say, the choices that parents are having to make at this point is which meal are they going to miss, and how are the preschool teachers going to tell the kids they can't come back on Monday because Head Start relies on federal funding. So this is going to have a ripple effect across the country. I think that one of the things we need to realize is these people are across the country. They're in red states, they're in blue states, and that will have a major impact on the way that they are able to live.
But senators aren't moving their votes.
It's incredible to me that we I'm glad we're paying troops, but it's incredible to me that the USDA declared on September 30th that there would be money for SNAP no matter how long the shutdown went. And we are now seeing that taken down off of Trump's website and the USDA website saying, like, no, we can't actually do it. And hearing Speaker Mike Johnson say we can't afford to pay people who are on SNAP or who go to Head Start, it just feels kind of gross. And so if we are prioritizing a lot of other things that are not feeding our hungry and our poor working families and deciding that early education is not a priority, it makes me wonder, like, who are we as a country? And is this who we have always been? It's never gotten to this point where SNAP is not funded during a shutdown.
Yeah, and I think that is sort of yet another dire impact of this. But I also hear from the folks who know the Hill so well, and you hear this from leadership, you know what it's like to be in those rooms, that this is a leverage point where it does force people potentially to come to the negotiating table. I mean, is that why it's not moving votes? So that people outside of Washington can understand how these folks are thinking.
Well, the simplest way to address every single one of those spending priorities is to vote to reopen the government. And the Speaker knows that, the President knows that, John Thune knows that. And so, we're going to see a couple more days, probably another week or so of the shutdown. I talked to a senior Senate Republican last night. They're pretty confident about the fact that there's more chatter going on between individual rank-and-file senators on both sides.
Yeah.
But we probably have to get through the election next week. I think Democrats want the record for the longest shutdown. And then they also want to kind of alleviate all those problems. Their own staff, they're going to start missing their paychecks too.
I don't get the sense that there's a desire to make history on this, but I do understand, and Rebecca knows this so well.
We'll get there.
I do think we're going to get there. I don't think anyone wanted to overtly get there, but at the same time, there's always been a clamoring in the Democratic base to show that they have fight. I think the question that I have for you is, yes, I hear the same chatter about rank and file talks picking up. Obviously not enough for them to stay over the weekend, but yeah, I'm hearing the same thing about maybe middle of next week. But then the president throws in that he wants Republicans to get rid of the filibuster, and I think that sort of tanks the whole equation again, right? I mean, what's the impact of that?
I think there's kind of two elements to it that are pretty interesting. One, this shows that he's now fully re-engaged into this process. And to me, this is a very similar arc, similar timeline to One Big Beautiful Bill, where House passes the bill, throws it to the Senate. The president went on basically a huge foreign policy set within that month of May and June, G7, NATO, the Iran strikes. And then he comes back and then he seals the deal. He gets the job done. Here, he's obviously had major impacts in the Middle East and in Asia. Now the fact that he's back, he can redirect his focus here. And, we even saw yesterday Vice President Vance and Secretary Duffy having really salient conversation about, what's going to happen to air traffic controllers here. So now I think you see a coalescing of attention back from the administration onto this issue.
The thing that I've been thinking about with the filibuster is I did have a few progressive Democrats in the House say to me that they sort of wanted the filibuster to be nuked right now because there's long been this idea in Democratic circles that it should be gone and it's a relic of the past. Obviously, that was a big debate during the Biden era, and Manchin and Sinema regularly stood up and said, no, we can't get rid of the filibuster. What do you think the Democrats are thinking, looking at the way the president is now saying they should do this? Like, are they happy? Are they sad? I think it's probably a mixed bag.
Nobody's happy.
Okay,
is what I will say.
fair.
Nobody on the Hill is happy at this point. I think Democrats are wondering, like, who is here to negotiate with me? Because if John Thune is not going to let a Josh Hawley bill on the floor to vote to fund SNAP at this point, who's here? Mike Johnson is not here. Donald Trump has been in Asia. There's nobody to negotiate with. So I think even saying, like, let's get rid of the filibuster, who are we saying that to? Who's going to say yes to it if there's nobody actually in Congress ready to come to the table and do the work? I really do think it is going to be something as like air traffic control coming to a total halt across the country that really brings people back to the table. And that's a shame because it shouldn't be air traffic control. It should be something as simple as SNAP and Head Start and making sure that people are getting the benefits that they so desperately need.
Yeah, I mean, I will say senators yesterday had a lot of their flights canceled into work because of this. But what were you going to say?
1.2, President Trump's, I don't know if this is coming down the pike, but just an idea, it's possible. Throw out a reconciliation bill. It's usually not for go Democrats and then have appropriators, appropriations process. It's the vegetable of Congress. It's healthy and good for you, but do they always get to it? No. But there's an opportunity with the reconciliation bill where you're basically not using the filibuster, you're circumventing it. Highly unlikely, but that is a route should Republicans want to actually dispose of Democrat votes in this process.
Ultimately, do you think that Republicans are feeling like they're coming out on top in this? Because the polling shows the exact opposite.
I think the fact that the president is back, that he is stateside now, and that he's going to be, he has the opportunity to engage between if he can negotiate trade deals with President Xi, I think he's going to be able to be the closer in the room here too.
I do think the trade deal with President Xi has yet to be signed, so if that's a precursor for the shutdown, we might be
Does he know about it? Like, what are we doing here?
If you listen to the Chinese readout, yeah, it might not be as clear cut as that. But I do think that both sides actually agree on this point, that the president will be the linchpin if and when he decides to actually put forward his position. I think the fact that his position right now is nuke the filibuster shows that he just wants Republicans to do this within their own party without bringing Democrats in.
You can do that with reconciliation without having to touch the filibuster.
Which similarly would be a partisan process, only Republicans. Both of you, I thank you for coming on, for bringing your perspective, for helping us tee up what this might look like coming up. I don't know. Rebecca Piercy and Mark Bednar, thank you both for joining us. But stay, because I told you we do this. Earlier in the show, we asked you, the viewers, why are you awake? Beth emails, I'm up way too early making chicken and waffles for her nursing staff for Halloween. That actually sounds like a very yummy way to start
Where's ours, Allie?
Yeah, where is ours? Please send to us, Beth. Sean sends along this photo and writes, I'm up way too early worrying about costumes for our party tonight, but our dog Ziggy is set. What a cute lion. Oh, this is what I was hoping the viewers would bring on this Halloween morning.
That's great.
It's great. It's so good. And Emily shares this picture and says she's up way too early because Dudley is ready to bark at every trick and especially every treat. That's another good dog.
Halloween.
Like,
As we reported here last night,
like the video, fair use reaction clip.
presidency. We're beginning once again tonight with something that is not actually news.
Joining me now is Kansas Senator Roger Marshall. Senator, it's great to see you. We so appreciate you joining us. What is your response to the president saying, get rid of the filibuster and reopen government?
Well, good morning, Maria. I never really ever seriously considered ending the filibuster until this very, very last week. There's no doubt ending the filibuster allows us to open the government. It allows us to...
Like the video. There's one topic I want to get to let people know something else is going on. Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in.
Years worth of funding available for the SNAP program, our tax dollars that we have already paid to the federal government to facilitate this program, and the Trump administration deleted this language from the website this morning. They are hiding the fact that not only is there more than enough funding to pay these benefits that we have already paid our tax dollars into, but that there was contingency language to ensure that even in the event of a government shutdown, that SNAP would go uninterrupted. The Trump administration and the Republicans supporting him are using food as a political weapon. There are years worth of funding available for the SNAP program, our tax dollars that we have already paid to the federal government to facilitate this program, and the Trump administration deleted this language from the website this morning. They are hiding the fact that not only is there more than enough funding to pay these benefits that we have already paid our tax dollars into, but that there was contingency language to ensure that even in the event of a government shutdown, that SNAP would go uninterrupted. The Trump administration and the Republicans supporting him are using food as a political weapon. There are years worth of funding available for...
Let's continue.
File through President Trump's agenda, a whole lot of great things. And the biggest argument to get rid of it is that, look, the Democrats are going to do it anyway. The next time the Democrats are controlling the Senate, they're going to do it anyway. But we got to be careful what we wish for here. If we do this, the next time the Democrats are in power and they control all three levers, they're going to, nuke the Supreme Court. They're going to pack the Supreme Court. They're going to make Puerto Rico District of Columbia State. They're going to give us Medicaid for all. So this will be a hot debate right now. And to me, it's not clear, but I'm very willing to have this debate now.
Wow. Well, the fact that we're on day 31 and we are now actually seeing impact to the broader economy. I mean, Vice President J.D. Vance and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy are warning of a travel disaster the longer the doors stay closed. We are looking at air traffic control and TSA agents working without pay. Some of them have just started to call in sick. They don't want to work without pay, but they also can't work without pay. They need to find another income. So they have to take off the job that's not paying them. Doesn't this lead to an economic problem down the road, a bigger economic problem than we expected now that we're on day 31?
Like the video, like the video. There's about 40 people in the building. Please hit the subscribe button, and thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. To hit the like button is free. All 40 should try and hit the like button. All you have to do is double tap the screen, and then you'll see that there's a thumbs up, and all you have to do is hit the thumbs up. Thank you.
Than we expected now that we're on day 31?
Well, Maria, certainly we are starting to feel this. We are at an inflection point. The air traffic control folks, TSA, they've lost it. They missed their second paycheck now. We had about a 2-hour delay. All the flights were delayed 2 hours yesterday out of DCA. When the transportation system is not working right, it certainly does have a huge impact on the economy as well. So, we don't miss the government until we miss them. We're just about there where really things are not going very well. I think it is time for the Democrats to come across the aisle and vote yes on it. 13 times Republicans have voted yes. We stay united. The reason we're staying firm is to balance the budget, which is, I think, the biggest problem this country faces. So it's we're stuck in this neutral right now. It's a tough place to be in.
I mean, you've tried 13 times, as John Thune said on the Senate floor the other night. 13 times the Democrats voted against it. We are now at day 31. We are actually seeing massive snarls in air traffic, and if people start canceling on the trips going into the busy holiday season, that is going to have a direct impact on the economy. What other choice do you have other than do the nuclear option, get rid of the filibuster, and reopen this government?
Well, Maria, the option is to keep negotiating and go through what we call regular order. Senator Susan Collins has, I think, 8 of the 12 buckets of funding for the government done. The Democrats need to come back to the table and negotiate with us once again. But I think they're starting to feel the pain. They're spinning on their heads like tops right now. I think that next week there's going to be a significant inflection point. They get these governor's races behind them. They can plant the flag. They were going to win them anyway. But they've got, as President Trump said, they've got Trump derangement syndrome. They've got a gold card now for Trump derangement syndrome going on right now. This is a political shutdown. It's being run by the legacy media along with our left part of the Democrat Party.
Well, that's another thing that you mentioned. I mean, the media. I mean, once again, the media is going along with the talking points and not holding anybody to account, except on that C-SPAN clip that we just showed. She did hold her to account. She tried to get out of the reason, the fact that they already voted for the same clean CR earlier in the fall. Look. All of this in the face of House Oversight Republicans urging the Department of Justice to probe President Biden's auto pen use. After the report on the investigation, Committee Chairman James Comer told me that executive action signed via auto pen should be null and void. And I want to get your take on this because House Republicans now are calling for the impeachment of Judge James Boasberg after new FBI files reveal that former special counsel Jack Smith called AT&T, Verizon. He requested all the records and the communications of sitting lawmakers related to more than 430 individual and organizations who are Republican, all aimed at Republicans. I spoke with Jim Jordan, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, yesterday about the major telecom companies releasing the senators' phone records. Watch this. Is that normal protocol that a major telecom company is going to give up everybody's information on their phone, even if including a sitting senator?
Yeah, this is how the FBI operated, and they don't tell the person who's being targeted until after the fact, until months or years later. This is how pervasive it was, and again, it's why I think it's important we dig into all this. And frankly, I think it's important that when we find individuals who are part of this entire broader operation of weaponizing the government against your political foes, against your political enemies, I think it's why we hold them accountable.
Now, we now know that AT&T ultimately declined to comply with the subpoena for Ted Cruz's phone records based on what AT&T said were protections provided through the speech and debate clause in Article 1 of the Constitution. However, Verizon gave up the information, we're told, by Chuck Grassley. Your reaction to this, Senator?
Well, Maria, well, shame on Verizon. But I think the Supreme Court has something to do with it that they can do about this. Let's go back to Russia, and the FISA judges involved with that. Those people should be disciplined and kicked off the court as well. I think that the Supreme Court to be much stronger here and manage the courts and say, look, these people are not fit to serve. The judges involved with this need to be reprimanded along with the FBI. Involved with it as well. I got faith that Kash Patel is going to discipline the people in the FBI. But the question is, how do we get at these judges? I think the Supreme Court has a role, and perhaps indeed Congress should do this as well. Let's impeach one of those judges and then set the standard, set the stage that'll be so they don't do it in the future.
Well, I mean, how does a judge company to give up the phone records of their political opponent? The lowest levels that they will go to actually take down their political enemies, it's just extraordinary to me. It really is. And I wonder, I mean, and by the way, there's also evidence here from Chuck Grassley that the judge told these companies, don't tell Senator Cruz that we're asking. Don't tell Bill Haggerty that we're asking. Marsha Blackburn, all of your colleagues. Were you also tracked?
We're still going through the list. I guess there's 179 members now. I was not one part of the original 8 or 9. But I know they were after another 179 as well. But, you know, the Democrats invented lawfare. The FBI, once upon a time, the most respected law program in the world. And here we are today having this discussion. It just makes my stomach turn. Again, I think this is part of this Trump derangement syndrome. But let's go after the agents. Let's go after the judges that participated in this. And Verizon obviously has some questions to answer as well. It's probably time to impeach one of these judges.
Wow, incredible. We're going to be watching your work, Senator. Thanks very much for being here this morning. We will be watching this government shutdown. Real quick, what are the odds government opens next week, do you think, Senator?
Oh my gosh. Let's go 55%. 55%.
All right. Thank you so much. We will see you soon.
Like the video, like the video. Fair use reaction clip. Are you guys surprised that it's gone this long? Like the video as you guys come in. Think it's right?
From an ordinary American family, brought down a British prince with her truth and extraordinary courage. That is the first sentence of a statement released by the family of a woman who accused the man who the British until today called Prince Andrew of raping her when she was 17 years old. The British press and the press around the world is reporting tonight what the New York Times calls, quote, an extraordinary punishment that man named Andrew has now suffered at the hands of his brother, who is the current claimant of the title King of England. His older brother, a so-called king, had already taken his house away on the palace grounds and banished him to a still royal country house. Finally, the absurd title has been removed. The extraordinary punishment the New York Times is referring to is that Andrew will no longer be called a prince, end quote, will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. And while we're on the subject, Windsor is a fake name too. Windsor is an invented name used to mask the German heritage of the people who have been claiming the position of royal family in Britain for the entire 20th and 21st century. In 1917, in the middle of the First World War, with England fighting against Germany, the so-called British royal family decided to mask their German background by plucking from out of nowhere the classically English-sounding name Windsor and suddenly claiming it as their own. The truth is a name change is not punishment. If you offered Jeffrey Epstein the option of being arrested and sent to prison as a child rapist or having to change his name, which do you think he would have chosen?
He doing too much. Like the video.
Sounds harsh, if it sounds even hyperbolic, and we all know the media sometimes can seem that way. That is the update to what Donald Trump is already doing, but what he now says quite clearly out in the open he wants to continue to do, which is to have the troops in the streets through next year. So while you can debate whether this or that city has this or that problem that could be fixed in a week or 2 or a month, now he's just saying, no, he wants the troops out in the streets for a long time. I can't say indefinite. I mean, eventually this term comes to an end. He's a lame duck second-term president, but thousands of National Guard troops already patrolling Washington are receiving these formal extended orders. And here's how they're reporting. Quote, open-ended. I'm going to leave this up for a second because, again, we live in a time where people debate each other and you say, well, was the news anchor, was he exaggerating? Is this against Trump? No, this is what they say they want. It is un-American in the sense that our Constitution forbids quartering soldiers and having soldiers in our lives and cities indefinitely. But it is literally what the extension now is. So Trump's National Guard DC deployment extends into next year without any basis that we would know. There's not some ongoing occupation or terrorism or riots that we would normally use the Guard for. There's not some giant unrest, ongoing basis, but the extension is, quote, open-ended until the mission is considered complete, which is up to the government. The Pentagon is ordering the Guard to also create what they're calling quick reaction forces, and this would be
Let's continue.
Fight Club, which is what gets talked about at Fight Club.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, you guys. Double tap the screen to get the likes up. The likes should match the views. Double tap the screen to get the like up. It's the thumbs up video. Thumbs up the video. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Let's get the likes up.
Stays at Fight Club, but Katie, what's the first rule of legal Fight Club?
everything that we learn in Legal Fight Club is shared publicly, especially with those of you that are supporting us through the Contrarian and at Democracy Defenders Fund. That's why Legal Fight Club is so important. We're not gatekeeping knowledge, people. We are making sure that you are empowered with as much as we can share. Norm, what are we going to talk about today? I know what I want to talk about because I'm particularly angry about what's happening with SNAP benefits.
Well, Katie, whatever we had scheduled, we should talk about what you want to talk about. SNAP. Explain to the people what it is, what's happening, and why any American, not just my friend Katie Fang, should be upset about it.
So, Norm, let's start with what it's not. It's not just money for poor people. It's not just money for, per Mike Davis's words, he wants to say that it's people that are lazy or people that are unemployed or people that need to get off their, quote, ghetto. Is not my words, but his, folks. That's not what it's for. It's a program that has been providing benefits to more than 42 million Americans, Norm. And those people, they are able to supplement to make sure that they are not at or below the federal poverty line so that they're able to put food on their tables. In fact, 86% of all SNAP benefits are going to households that have children, that have the elderly, that have people with disabilities. Frankly, Norm, there are people that are working right now at jobs where their wages are so low because there's no respect perhaps for a working wage anymore in America that they require SNAP benefits to be able to supplement what they're making. People who perhaps have to keep a seasonal job or they lose a job because they have to care for a loved one who has fallen ill and they don't have paid sick leave. There are so many people that we are describing, Norm, which is why SNAP benefits are not only important, but they are actually supposed to be provided. And so, Norm, at this time, we're seeing the Trump administration weaponizing food, weaponizing hunger in this, I guess, really cruel attempt to think that they're owning the libs.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize that. SNAP, do the words stand for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. So let me just break it down for you folks like we do here on Legal Fight Club. This is food aid that all Americans, Katie, I think the number is 40 million Americans rely on this food aid. 42 million. 42 million Americans. So about 15% roughly of our fellow parents and kids and seniors, people you know, people in blue places, but people in red places also, will not eat if Donald Trump and his followers and the people in Congress continue to refuse to turn on these funds. Now, Katie, that's what the program is. How is Donald Trump starving folks out now? If you want to explain what's going on, then maybe I'll tell our friends what the litigating community is doing about it. And that includes everybody who's watching Contrarians, because we at the Democracy Defenders Fund are working to end this national starvation. I've never seen anything like it. What are they doing, Katie, to block people from the food?
Well, Norm, the cruelty is pretty on brand for this administration. And just to kind of underscore how important this is, you know, there's this misconception that there are thousands of dollars given to just lazy people that are sitting there not doing anything. But the reality is this, it's 1 in 8 Americans. 1 in 8 Americans are receiving SNAP benefits. You know what it ends up being about? About $6 a day, Norm. That's what we're talking about. And that's what is at stake, though, many people. So I'd rather show some people, too, if you don't mind, Norm. I'm going to put up right now something that people can see. This is actually from official government website for the USDA. The USDA is the federal agency that is handling the SNAP benefits. And you see here, Norm, I mean, we can talk about Hatch Act, frankly, because that's something that's totally up your alley as well. But the USDA website here is blaming the Democrats for the SNAP benefits to not happen after October 31st. And what's disgusting is they're saying that Democrats are holding out for healthcare for illegal aliens and gender mutilation procedures. I mean, Norm, not only are those lies, but it's worrisome because these are lies on an official government website. The fact that they're allowed to even do this without any type of punishment is wild, Norm.
And that brings us to the legal fight, folks, because what you have to understand is the money for these SNAP benefits to help 40 million people around our country, including a lot of Trump voters, the money is there in the USDA and the United States Department of Agriculture. In Fight Club, we actually like to break down the acronyms. The money is there, and Congress has ordered Donald Trump to spend the money. So what's happening here is he's holding it back to punish people to try to bring an end to the shutdown. As we know, Democrats and people of good faith are pushing back on the Trump plan because he's hurting American people. He won't provide health care. So he's like, if you don't suffer enough when I take away your health care, I'm going to now have 40 million people suffer more. It's a punitive program to give tax breaks to billionaires. But you can't, it's against the law. The money is there. Congress has ordered that the money be spent. So, Katie, here on Legal Fight Club, Katie and I and our colleagues at Democracy Defenders Fund are part of over 200 cases dealing with wrongdoing like this. And we talk all day long about what we can do. And there's a very important piece of litigation that we are supporting. Katie, first tell the people about this fantastic case by our state attorneys general to deal with that illegal cash holdback, the illegal Trump mega starvation plan. What are they doing about the starvation plan, starving out Americans to try to take our health care away? It boggles the mind. And then I'll talk about what we're doing at Democracy Defenders Fund, you and I and our colleagues together, to support this important litigation.
Yeah, so we have to give a huge shout out as appropriately to the Democratic attorneys general of at least 22 states and 3 governors who have filed a federal lawsuit in the state of Massachusetts, basically forcing the hand of the Trump administration to access a contingency fund that holds about $5 billion. And let me be clear, Norm, we need about $8 billion to just do 1 month. But at this point, we'll take the $5 billion, and that's exactly what it's for. It is congressionally appropriated funds that have been designated for the purpose of actually hitting a shortfall and minimizing the impact on millions of Americans. These Democratic attorneys general and the 3 governors have filed this lawsuit saying, look, Trump administration, you're violating specific federal statutes and specific federal acts when you fail to use this money as it has already been earmarked, congressionally appropriated, and as certain things have been enacted. And so this is what happens. This is the rule of law in action, Norm. For those people that are naysayers or they want to poo-poo the idea that our judicial system is impotent, it's not. We are doing these things. We're seeing these types of lawsuits, and they're also going to be seeking a temporary injunction. It's supposed to be filed today, basically ordering the Trump administration to get back on and to not hold food hostage to millions of Americans.
And Katie, let's hear from Attorney General. You're my friend. We talk to him all the time. Rob Bonta of California. What is this lawsuit about? Let's play the sound, friends.
Trump and his administration are willing to put more than 41 million Americans at risk of hunger, at risk of food insecurity, at risk of malnutrition, if it gives them a new play in their twisted political game. They are playing politics while Americans go hungry.
Norm, it's politics over people. That's what they do. Politics over people.
But Katie, starving them out, it makes me want to fight peacefully, lawfully, and litigate. The AGs have brought this terrific case, and we have their 6. You and I and our colleagues are investigating this wrongdoing. We're supporting the case, and we have told the United States government, you are breaking the law. You're going to be personally responsible for these legal violations. We've gone straight to the USDA and the Inspector General there. Katie, tell the folks about how we're supporting this litigation, because all of them support the litigation through their paid subscriptions to.
Let's get the likes up, everyone. Please double tap the screen to hit the like. Thumbs up the video. Above the video, below the video. Let's get the likes up, everyone. It helps keep me in the algorithm. Let's get the likes up. It's free to hit the like button. Let's continue.
The contrary.
It's all for one for all here. What we've done is we have sent a letter, and not just any letter, but it has been sent directly to the head of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins. You may have seen her. She's been doing the rounds on far-right media like Fox News, trying to justify what's happening right now. That letter clearly shows that there's been repeated violations unlawfully by this administration when it comes to not only turning off the SNAP benefits, but also making sure that contingency fund isn't accessed. You know, Norm, I want to quickly footnote something here. A lot of people may not be aware because that big bullshit bill that got passed courtesy of the Republicans just a few months ago, that big bullshit bill, it did a lot of harm to Americans, some of which hasn't yet to be felt. But let me tell you something, $168 billion in SNAP benefits was slashed in that bill. So for Republicans to suddenly care about whether or not anything's going on with their SNAP benefits, well, it's a little too late, isn't it? That's why at DDF, we've put everyone on notice, including Brooke Rollins, that we're watching them, kind of like a watchdog, something that you know very well. So independent of what the Democratic attorneys generals are doing, we are also watching things carefully to make sure that we're also bringing litigation when necessary to be able to enforce the rights that belong to the American people.
Yeah, Katie, that's so important. And we're looking at all legal remedies. We often litigate at Democracy Defenders Fund in parallel. And the legal theory that we're developing on behalf of all of you, everybody watching, is one that says Congress has ordered that this money be spent. There's another piece of law known as the Anti-Impoundment Act. You are not allowed under the Constitution, if you're the USDA, if you're Brooke Rollins, not to spend the money. There's no option to it. It's not discretionary. It's not a choice. It's mandatory that these funds be spent because it's so important not to starve out the American people. So you can expect to hear much more on how we're going to support and have the backs of the state AGs fighting for us all and how we're going to litigate these sets of issues. Katie, I thought it was so interesting because even I, with over 200 cases, and Katie and I talk all day long about that together with the rest of our wonderful dozens of colleagues at the Democracy Defenders Fund. I'm a pretty hopeful person, but I have to say when this MAGA mass starvation plan was announced, it took me up. I feel better. That's part of the reason we're taking this legal action on behalf of all of you to back up the AGs. We filed this administrative complaint with the government. We're going to do more legal action, but it still doesn't feel like it's quite enough. So here's how I'm thinking about it, and then Katie will give us the last word. We need to remember that there are going to be terrible ups and downs, and Donald Trump is going to wreak death and destruction. But he's not accomplishing the dictatorship that he's setting out to do. And when he overreaches, like with this withholding food aid, it just drives those abysmal poll numbers 37% even lower. It drives people out into the streets, like the 7 million who marched. It's going to be material on November 4th, Tuesday, Election Day. That's a referendum on Trump's policies. And then we have our litigation, and the press is waking up and talking about this SNAP issue. It's so important. So is our political leadership. So if you look across the landscape of our democracy, as devastating as it is, in every dimension, there's reasons for hope. So hang in there. We're fighting. We're going to get you the food aid you need. And I'm going to give the last word to my Fight Club partner, Katie Fang.
Well, Norm, here's the thing. And I agree, it's easy to kind of feel like we're constantly having to be at battle, but that's kind of what we were preparing for. That's what's happening at places like Democracy Defenders Fund. We knew that the lay of the land was not going to be easy, but for example, it's all connected, is it not? They're trying to kick us when we're down. We're in the midst of day 29 of a government shutdown. It's not just SNAP benefits, right? It's people's paychecks. And yet, for example, we're successfully litigating this idea of illegal firings of people during government shutdowns. You're not allowed to do that either. We've actually gone to court on that and been successful. There are actual true silver linings in the darkness that we are seeing right now. And these are really important points that we want to underscore. It is the battle of the lifetime that we are finding ourselves in right now. But that's the reason why we're doing Legal Fight Club with all of you. We're making sure that you're completely informed, that you understand what's at stake, and you understand that there's actual action being taken versus just people that are complaining. We're actually doing something about the bad.
Like the video, like the video.
Thanks for being with us.
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. There's about 66 people in the building. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Let's get the likes up.
They are forced to hold each other accountable, where it's kind of like, hey, you have the right to do it. If you're so worried about it, why don't you do something about it? And they're not. And then Speaker Johnson, Rob, if you have Speaker Johnson's,
but that really shows that, the president's on the right side, in my view here, if you've got somebody like him questioning her, and she really doesn't have any good arguments.
Yeah, but MTG comes out and responds to what, and this is the conflict. So this is the part where I'm curious to know what's really going on here. This is Speaker Johnson, Rob, if you want to play this.
So I brought you a little visual aid here to just remind everybody what the simple facts are. 4 simple facts here. The Democrats are required to open the government. They keep saying Republicans are in charge of government. We aren't, not in the Senate. 60 votes control the Senate, not a bare majority. And so point number 1, Democrat votes are required to open the government. Point number 2, they refuse to do it. They have now voted 12 times to keep the government closed. And they'll have another chance today or tomorrow, maybe multiple times this week, and then we'll see what they do. Now, the third point is very important because they've been trying to confuse the American people. They've tried to say this is a fight about health care or this or that or any other thing, and it's very simple. They put this on paper. They made this their demand in writing in the record of the Senate, and it has not changed. These are just 4 subpoints there under fact number 3. But there's many more. But among the things they're demanding, this is what the Democrats in the Senate are demanding to reopen the government. They want to give $200 billion in health benefits to illegal aliens and non-citizens paid for by U.S. taxpayers. That is in their proposal. They want billions in wasteful programs to be returned to foreign countries. So we stopped these things. They want to turn it all back on. They're demanding that we do all that to get the government for hardworking Americans again. They want to give $500 million to left-leaning news organizations, and they want to cut $50 billion for rural hospitals. We cannot, we will not do those things. And they know that very well.
We can pause it right there. Now, a lot of people are saying, wait a minute, that's not what they're doing. This is not about, illegal immigrants getting benefits and all this stuff. But this is what AOC said with Kristen Welker-Tom. I don't know if you saw this one or not. Rob, if you want to play this, I just texted it to you. When asked about whether they want to deny illegal immigrants or undocumented citizens insurance, this is what AOC had to say, which contradicts what a lot of Democrats are saying, that that's not what they're trying to do. At least AOC is just putting it out there. Go ahead, Rob.
On this to follow up, because you said that it is federal law that people, undocumented immigrants, can't get Medicare, Medicaid, the Obamacare subsidies. Do you believe that should be the law, though, or do you think undocumented immigrants should have access to federally funded healthcare?
I believe personally that healthcare is a human right. I believe that every person should be able to go to the doctor, but I believe that right now federal law is the federal law, and that absolutely, that U.S. citizens and people who pay into our programs deserve to be covered by these programs. And I mean, once again, I do believe that the federal laws that we have on the books are appropriate,
But
are
if
the
you
right
could
ones to
choose,
do.
do you believe that should be changed?
Pardon?
If you could choose, do you believe that the federal law should be changed?
I don't. I believe in a single-payer healthcare system where if you go in and you need a doctor, you can get the medical attention that you need.
But can I ask you?
So how do you process that? What's your interpretation of what she said?
That's a running for president type of answer.
Yeah,
like the way
single payer.
Well, just like that stance to begin with, to say that undocumented immigrants don't have a right to medical insurance. That's not something she would have said in the past. It reminds me of like Newsom trying to go more towards the middle to Europe for 2028. But the number of what we're potentially either saving or spending on this bill, what they're fighting for, is 1.3 trillion. So the 350 billion that they're fighting for, that was just thrown in, I believe, in the last couple of years. That wasn't even part of what Obama did. And then the trillion for Medicaid cuts. Like Medicaid's one of the biggest waste pits of money in human history. So I don't know exactly who we're fighting for with this. Like a lot of it seems to be potentially undocumented immigrants. So I think that they're trying to throw them off here with the shutdown because it doesn't seem like they have a substantive base for what they're doing.
Tom.
I think when you see AOC go on there, I mean, she's campaigning, absolutely campaigning. Healthcare is a human right. That makes her sound, lord it over the rest of us, but who's going to pay for it? That would be like my daughter saying, Dad, I think transportation is a human right. And then I'm like, okay, where's the budget and who's going to buy you that car? I mean, that's exactly the crux of it here. It's like healthcare is a human right. Okay, but should 300 million people, the citizens of the United States, come together and put all the money in the hat so that an incredible number of other people can have the human right? That's the point. And what they want is they want to convert those immigrants to voters, and they want to give them things for free so that they have a voting block and power. It's very simple. Healthcare is one of the free things to give them so that they have that. And I thought she was asked a very straight question, and she gave a very fluff enough answer. That's what I think. There's nothing to it, and it's like, let's just dump it on, kick the can down the road, let the American taxpayer pay for it. Healthcare is a human right for you and you and you and you. And so, wait a minute. The people that live in the house called these 50 United States are being asked for pay for everybody that's coming in the side door. It's like, time out.
What is the issue between Johnson and Marjorie Taylor Greene? Rob, if you want to put this up there, the tweet I just sent you is you see this picture between the two of them, and if you said this is Mario Naval, let me read the top. Private GOP call. Rob, go back to the other one. I'm 47, buddy. I can't see that. Sorry. Yeah, zoom in. Okay, Speaker Johnson, Representative Manager, private GOP call turned fiery as Speaker Johnson and Marjorie Taylor Greene went head-to-head over the party's stalled shutdown approach. MTG accused leadership of wasting their majority by keeping lawmakers home and demanded an off-ramp from Obamacare subsidies. Johnson defended strategy, insisting Republicans are working around the clock before snapping. How does that help us, Marjorie? Some GOP members sided with Greene, others with Johnson, revealing deep fracture inside the House majority. Right now, go a little bit lower on that video. I think he's calling on someone. Zoom in a little bit. Speaking, I don't have any more MTG fan fiction. Okay, play this clip, Rob. Play this clip if you could.
Like the video, like the video.
Okay, play this clip, Rob. Play this clip if you could.
I try not to react to what Marjorie Taylor Greene says every day. I did see, somebody told me that she accused me of ousting Santos, which of course is the exact opposite of the history. Everyone can go review what happened. I opposed his expulsion from Congress. I voted against it. I advocated to my colleagues not to do that. And you can take George Santos's word for it himself. I think right before he submitted to prison, he did a very friendly social media post about me and how I've been such a great friend to him and I helped the guy. I had a lot of, I was trying to reach out to him as I would any colleague who's in a difficult situation. And I'll be frank. I talked to George Santos about redemption and about, God's mercy and grace. So look, I don't know what Murphy's talking about. Corey Mills, I noted a few days ago when I was asked about Corey Mills, I'm aware of the allegations against him. I'm an attorney, so I'm going to reserve judgment on that and let the legal process play out as I should, as anyone would expect.
What do you think's going on here?
I think you've got, look, in any party, you don't necessarily have perfect unity. You look at Christians around the world. You got the Catholics, you got the Protestants, Presbyterians, that all agree on Jesus Christ and agree on core things, but they feel very different about a whole bunch of things. Methodists, no dancing, and there's all these things below it. And I think that's what you're seeing in the Republican Party. But I think you're seeing a unity of American conservatism. And I believe that there's largely unity behind the president. But when MTG and Speaker are getting into it over George Santos, who is now out and it's a settled situation, that doesn't help us come together as a group of conservative Republicans and negotiate through the shutdown. How does, relitigating or going back over George Santos and what happened with him, does that help us come together on this? They should be coming together and scrumming over exactly what she was talking about. Okay, how are we going to navigate the Obamacare subsidies now at the end of the year and what the Democrats are trying to do and hold this thing hostage at the shutdown? How do we come together as a conservative bloc in support of our president and get that done and set aside these grievances and things they have over stuff? George Santos is settled. He's out. It's done. He's going to get a book deal. He's sitting on morning talk shows talking about how appreciative he is of the president and that he's out and it's done. How does that help us with the shutdown? I think these things need to be set aside, and let's talk about what is the play we're calling to deal with the Democrats that are intentionally holding this place shut down, intentionally causing the SNAP benefits to be held back, and what is our play call to come together on the Obama subsidies and go forward in the future?
Yeah, have you seen the number on SNAP and the videos that are going viral with everybody talking about, I can't believe this. Take a look at this chart, by the way. This is a chart, Tom, that shows food stamps by ethnicity.
Yeah, who's on SNAP and what is their citizenship status?
$7.8 billion on a monthly on SNAP. If illegals were removed from SNAP, the cost would reduce 70%.
Oh my God.
Is what they're saying. Zoom in a little bit, Rob. Take a look at this. Okay, zoom in a little bit. Percentage of U.S. households receiving SNAP benefits, food stamps by ethnicity: Afghan, 46%; Somalia, 42%; Iraqi, 35%; Dominican, 34%; Caribbean, 28%; Native, 27%; Puerto Rican, 27%; Cuban, 25%; Black, 25%; Arab, 24%; Cambodian, 23%; Haitian, Pacific Islander, Honduras, Armenians made it under 19%; Bangladesh, Moroccan, Mexican, 18%. But when you go all the way to the top, what do you notice?
Yeah, they misspelled Minnesota on the second line.
Yeah, but when you see this number, if illegals are removed, it saves 70% of cost.
There's the proof. There's the proof that the Democrats are bringing people in the side door and giving them a free living on the backs of the rest of Americans, or on the backs of our grandchildren who are going to be approaching $20 trillion of long-term debt. There it is. There it is. There's Exhibit A. SNAP benefit about is not for the neighbor down the street. And sure, you'll find one person, put them on the news, do a little video, but 70% of it is illegals that were brought here, a huge trove of that under the Biden administration. And this is part of the free stuff they're trying to ask you to pay for. American taxpayer, you are being asked to pay for this. You are buying someone else's lunch. They have a free lunch. You cooperate, you pay your taxes, you turn in your 1040 form, you live in America. They are putting the debt on your grandchildren, and they're giving free stuff to people they want to turn into voters. It's that simple.
Do you know?
Sorry, I get upset.
Yeah. I love it. No, go ahead.
I love that you're emphatic.
Remember how big of the budget the entitlement programs are? I mean, this is just SNAP. This is a small piece of entitlements, but what's the total number of entitlement spending that goes towards potentially illegal immigrants? That's such a drag on productivity. Over $2.5 trillion going towards things where we're just giving handouts to people. Talk about a bad return on investment. I mean, that's
I saw multiple videos of people saying, if you guys stop giving me my SNAP, we're going to start robbing businesses and we're going to go on a strike. And this guy reacts to it and say, you're going to go on strike for what? For free money you're getting from taxpayers?
Yeah.
What strike? This is a clip here on it as well. Go ahead, Rob.
There are 42 million people in this country that need food stamps on a weekly basis. And we're saying people deliberately instead of Americans, because most of the people that are on food stamps aren't even from this country. 45% of Afghanistan immigrants are on food stamps. 42% of Somali immigrants. 34% of every immigrant from Iraq. 23% of Haitians. 59% of all illegal aliens are collecting food stamps, meaning that most of the people getting food stamps from the U.S. government and the U.S. taxpayer are not even Americans. Think about that. And we didn't know about any of this before the government shutdown started, but thanks to Democrats,
We can confirm tonight that millions of Joe Biden illegal aliens, people who crossed the border when Joe was president, are now collecting food stamps from a program funded by hardworking American taxpayers. There are 42 million people. By the way, Brandon, we can go back to what we talked about a year ago. We covered in great detail on multiple podcasts, Pat, where we went with this, on the plight, what was happening to Medicaid in California, and that hospitals closed because they were going broke, because if a gunshot victim, a stabbing victim, or an unconscious person foaming at the mouth in convulsion came to an emergency room in downtown Los Angeles, they got treatment. They didn't sit there and say, well, if you can stop bleeding long enough to reach into your pocket and give me your insurance card, I'll take care of you here. No, they took care of it. And then the hospitals went to Sacramento and said, Newsom, I need to cover the Medicaid shortfall for all these services I gave to all these people. Like what? Well, here's the gunshots, the stabbings, the unconscious people, the drug overdoses, the fentanyls, the Narcan pens, bringing someone back from the dead. This is what I need. And guess what? California was so broke they were unable to do it, and they lost a downtown hospital. So in South Central LA, and the plight of it down there in these African American neighborhoods that are not filled with illegal immigrants, these are people that are American poor. They lost the hospital down the street that was providing them basic coverage because it went broke on the Medicaid system. That's the other part of it. States come crying to their senator and congressman, Medicaid's killing me here. All these illegals are here. I got Medicaid. I got to cover this. Who do you think? Do you think the food stamps in Somalia? Go look at what's happening to the hospitals in Minnesota and giving services. Who's paying for the Medicaid shortfall of the state of Minnesota? Omar is in Washington getting funds and grants back to the state to cover it. Food stamps is just where it starts. Now go to hospitalization and healthcare and all the rest of the stuff being given to people, and $40 trillion that can kick down the road, and now our grandchildren are going to pay for it.
Yeah. By the way, you know what the number is? How much we gave to SNAP last year? Almost $100 billion. $100 billion towards SNAP.
$100 billion.
And people will sit there and say, well, we gave $2 billion to that guy. We gave $1 billion to this. You gave $100 billion to SNAP. It came out of your pocket. And most of them are not even from here. And you can get rid of 70% of it and say $70 billion of taxpayer money with all this, illegal.
And while I don't want to talk about food and stuff like that, I'll say this with regard to housing, the illegal immigration. This is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of illegal immigration. You get all these people coming in the country and they have to live somewhere, right? You're talking about they have to eat and they're subsidizing it. I think we have yet to see the full effect of illegal immigration on housing.
2026 is around the corner. I am convinced this is going to be a very, very special year. In my opinion, I think we got this other rate cut that's coming. I think we're going to have 3 more in 2026, give or take, based on what gold.
Okay, let's go to hot topics, trending topics. So whether you believe it or not, some of the benefits are being used by illegals. Oh, there it was. That's what I was looking for. Real talk. So I'll focus on that tomorrow. But let's continue with hot topics, trending topics. Let's see. Certain stuff I'll talk about, certain stuff I won't talk about. Not giving that too much attention. They're basically trying to say Kendall Jenner admits that she was jealous of Kylie. Why would Kendall be jealous of Kylie when Kendall was a whole model? Kendall was a model, getting attention from basketball players. But let's not think about it. She has a roster, Kendall and Kylie have a huge roster of. Kylie dated Tyga at what age? Y'all let me know, role models or not. Kylie dated Tyga at what age? Then she dated problematic Travis Scott. Now she's trying to clean up her image with Timothy. Kendall dated different basketball players. I'm going to just say that. I do not believe that Kendall was jealous of Kylie at all. Kendall was a model, traveling the world, hitting runways. I don't believe. So that's why a lot of times you got to be careful of what you watch, because they're trying to ship a narrative in regards to the Hollywood BS. Kim's getting called out. Now they're going to continue. Kim's getting backlash. So now Kylie has to step up. Kourtney has to step up. How are they disrespecting Kourtney? Kourtney's the one sister that's married in a healthy relationship, and they're dragging her. The narratives that they put out, there's no way. How would Kendall be jealous of Kylie? And Kylie had so many different things done to her to make her look how she looks now. These Kardashian and their narratives and the PR stunts and trying to change the narrative, all the distractions, the PR stunts. They want to trend weekly. Let's continue, because Kim is going to get called out. I'm going to show y'all that in a minute. Employees are scamming companies by some. Okay. Megan and Clay, that's an interesting relationship, but it is what it is. She likes trending about her in this Clay situation. But let's continue. We're just doing hot topics, trending topics. She looks amazing. After 40 years, she finally receives an Emmy. You know how many shows and movies Angela Bassett has done? Many. Okay, let's be general about this. Tony Braxton is dating Birdman and is married to Birdman. What?
Your 1 year wedding anniversary of Birdman.
Brian. Everyone calls him
Birdman. Is it weird that we call him Birdman?
A little bit, but people call him that or Stunner. I say Brian.
So talk about how meeting him at this stage, and then you had your 1 year wedding anniversary. Stage of your life has felt.
We've been friends for over 25 years. He used to go to all my shows. He was there for my baby shower.
Oh my God.
That kind of thing. Nothing never crossed the line. He was my dearest friend. He came to see me when I did Beauty and the Beast, and he got there doing just before intermission. And
Stage of your life has felt.
we've been friends for over 20. We've been friends for a long time, and a love connection started happening like a couple years ago.
But also, isn't that the way it's supposed to
He's so hood. How is Tony Braxton with Birdman? How?
A long time, and a love connection started happening like a couple years ago.
But also, isn't that the way it's supposed to happen? It's like
That's what
everybody
they
says
say.
friendship is supposed to be. What'd y'all do to celebrate?
We went to my favorite places at a hotel, the St. Regis is at Maui.
Yes.
Coast, all the little islands off in North Carolina.
Oh, beautiful. North Carolina.
And South Carolina, right there.
Yes.
Right there.
How beautiful.
Near Hilton Head.
Was it nice? What'd y'all do to celebrate?
We went to
So right now, let's get into it. The Braxtons are trending in regards to several different things. Tamar loves media attention. She'll do a lot for media attention, and it's becoming very toxic on their show. Tamar's doing a lot for media attention to where I watched the show and I was disgusted that these women are sisters and they treat each other like enemies. It's so unhealthy. It's so unhealthy. Not only that, one of the nieces spoke out in regards to what she experienced as a 16-year-old. That was disgusting that that information wasn't outed when it happened. So they're talking about what happened in regards to a 16-year-old getting a message from one of the husbands of, he's passed away. So the show is not painting them in a good light. I told y'all I don't really care for reality shows, and I see why. They're not being showed as good role models. It's so unhealthy how Tamar acts with her sisters, how they put the show out in regards to, Tony's trying to do music, but she also has health concerns. The mother has health concerns. In Tawanda has health concerns, but it's a lot. Um, uh, what's the other sister name? Tawanda, Tony, and Trina. Trina's husband also has health concerns, and we get it's very toxic. Tamar loves media attention. She loves causing drama. She loves getting in people's faces. She loves disrespecting people. She loves disrespecting a person and the relationship. She acts like she is queen of. It is so, so, so toxic and so unhealthy to where she alleged grabbed one of the sisters' hair and allegedly kicked her. Go watch the show. It's so toxic. They should be off air. They should have been off air a long time ago. And I get why they're saying other people aren't off air. The Kardashians are as toxic as they are. It's so concerned. The unhealthy relationships that they're showing right now and what that niece went through is so unacceptable. And then and Tony dating Birdman, do y'all know what the industry has to say about this man? Oh my goodness. Why did she keep it secret so long? Alleged they dated for almost 16 years. They've been married for a year. They almost got a divorce. And now she wants to talk about her relationship with Birdman. Girl, Tony is respected in regards to her voice in the industry. She's gone through a lot of financial issues. She's had a lot of health issues. But Tony and Birdman, I would have never expected that. I would have never expected that. But there's that. Tamar is something else. She really needs to sit down. Being around her, and I would imagine that for the family, they probably feel so drained being around Tamar because they know if there's a camera, she's gonna hype up and disrespect someone and shade someone. And they treated her a certain way. But Tamar loves the toxic relationship. Drama. She loves it, and it's sad. It's sad. Krishan Rock has a new man. People thought he was 18. She say he 20. Krishan is being called out for the Blueface thing. Krishan, ex-boyfriend that she just broke up with this month, last month, however, being called out. People are calling her out in regards to the care of her son. I can't confirm or deny what's going on in regards to her son, but this is toxic too. Krishan, Blueface, all that was toxic. She was trending for being toxic. Real talk. It's being reported that LeBron is doing renovations on his house, and he may be gathering space where Bronny can be near his parents. Tiana Taylor, I used to like her, but now she's working with a person I don't really care for. Bottom line, running dry. There will be no benefits. Yeah, they're talking about there's going to be no benefits on November 1st. Right now, we're just talking hot topics, trending topics. Many families are suffering and they shouldn't have to. So of course, a lot of people are going to be doing their Halloween costumes. Let's continue. Let's continue. Right now, we're just doing hot topics, trending topics. Like the video as you guys come in. Let's see. Yeah, I think he recently did an interview when he called himself the husband. We can't confirm or deny if ASAP and Rihanna are married. They've been together for a very long time. They now have 3 children. She's focused on family and ASAP. There's been a lot of videos in regards to whether Rihanna is suffering financially. When you start to have a family, sometimes business stuff takes a back seat, and she's focusing on family and her children. Sometimes things take a back seat, you know? Yep, sometimes things take a back seat. But wishing Rihanna well. She's been on the billionaire list for a very long time with Fenty. She's been a okay. So Kamala Harris has a book, and she's trying to get people to buy the book, and she's calling out Joe Biden. Then now she's calling out Trump in regards to the renovation. We're just talking hot topics, trending topic. Okay, so North is looking beautiful, and that's a blessing. Because remember, I told y'all Kim will put North in an unflattering situation. As long as Kim, if she's trying to joke, of course she'll be unflattering. But everybody around Kim is not supposed to look better than Kim. So it's a good thing. She's finally getting it together. Stop blaming Kanye for your health concerns. Kim is a very busy person. Why not blame your work schedule? Why not blame your business schedule? But Kim wants to blame a black man for her health concerns. So North is now dressing and having her Halloween costumes, and that's a beautiful thing. She's a beautiful girl, but Kim needs to stop putting her in unflattering costumes and situations. Kim loves to dress North in men outfits or dressing as a male, and then sometimes she'll put her in women's outfits that's too inappropriate and that are grown. That are grown. It's almost like she don't need to pick a side, but North is not confused. But it's interesting how Kim puts her in media. Kim doesn't give North any privacy. Kim loves that North trends, so that keeps the Kardashians in relevancy. The Kardashians are utilizing North to trend and go viral. Just that way they'll have relevancy. Beautiful girl. And this is how it always should have been. If she wants to experiment, she can experiment all she wants. But Kim puts her in media as in certain situations as unflattering in certain situations. So this might be another Halloween costume, her dressing like this young lady, Queen Naja. But North is a beautiful girl. If she wants to trend, let her trend for something positive. Kim wants her to trend for something confrontational. That's what Kim's doing. Like I said, LeBron James is basically demolishing, and he's possibly putting up son for Bronny. We just talked about that. It's possible that Gail may be leaving CBS next year. Okay, bye. We've talked about these robots. I don't know why they're in my timeline, but they are. Be careful, everybody, if you get it. See? If you get it, be careful. Just make sure you know where the off button is. And then it's basically stating you can buy it for 20K. and then allegedly they have a payment plan. Be careful you get it. That's up to you and your family. So we're going to see a lot of costume. Kim Kardashian thinks, um, and she's talking about the moon landing, and then they're calling her out in regards to her thoughts. Kim likes to trend. She'll do anything to trend, whether she has to travel to trend with somebody that's trending. It's interesting how she acts. Gail is done, possibly done with them by next year. Okay, bye. Diddy is allegedly going to be relocated to Fort. Somebody yesterday was like, you could call it Fort Ducks. I don't need to call it something that it's not. We have to be careful what we say on YouTube, but what I'm not going to do is make a fool of myself. So Diddy is allegedly being relocated. Let's see. So some people are saying that the argument stems from a chair and basketball wives. They're stating this incident with Diddy happened around either his trial or sentencing. So he wants to trend too. He wants to trend too. So there's that. But Diddy has been moved. So he's calling Kim out for her statements. Kim loves media attention. She'll do anything. She'll do anything. So the women she is now having this new show, she's utilizing them now too in media. All those women need to be very careful because she will utilize them to trend and go viral. Why do I say that? I just did a short last night where Kim is talking about this moon situation and her conspiracy. And the lady's putting on makeup and Kim's trying to get her attention. And the lady continues to put on makeup. And then the lady says, okay, Kim, send that to me. She's going to utilize them too. Yes, she is. She's going to utilize them too. So he's calling Kim out for her statement. And this is what Kim loves to do. She loves to make comments. And then this is the biggest thing. That man is older, and you know he's older. So he may make comments that may not be factual. But this is what Kim loves to do. So yeah, NASA's calling her out and basically stating, you don't know what you're talking about. But this is what Kim loves. She loves drama, conflict. There's the benefit and embarrassment in regards to the Kardashians. Let's talk about this. And I want to be very clear. Courtney can probably get on their nerves, but she is the one sister that's married. She's the one sister that's in a healthy relationship. And the Kardashians love shading Courtney for wanting to be next to her husband and her children. Why is that? They're jealous of her. They're so jealous of Courtney for finding a healthy relationship. They want Courtney in an unhealthy relationship like Chloe was. Chloe, Lamar, Tristan, and what's the other guy? What's the other guy Chloe was in a relationship? And he oh my goodness. I'm trying to it's on the tip of my tongue. But yes, they don't like Chloe Courtney because she's in a healthy relationship. They would rather bring drama to her healthy relationship than supporting her. Chloe needs to sit down with that Lamar situation and with that Tristan situation. Lamar cheated, alleged, and Tristan cheated. But Courtney's in a healthy relationship. And Courtney has a right to say she don't want to be in no corset or heels. What does she need to do that for? She a whole mom with a child trying to breastfeed. Chloe will shade her. Kim will shade her. I don't think Kylie and Kendall really shade Courtney, but I just watched a very brief clip that Courtney's getting on people's nerve. Kim loves that people shade Courtney. Kim loves it. Kim loves. Kim probably have some of these people in her back pocket. Kim loves it when Courtney gets shit. She's the only, and even the mama ain't married. She's the only sister that's married. Rob's not married. Kendall's not married. Kylie's not married. She the one sister that's married, and they dislike that because she's in a healthy relationship. They want her to be in a toxic relationship. They would be on her side if she was in a toxic relationship, but since she's in a healthy relationship, they love shading Courtney. They love it. That's think about her wedding drama. Oh, she's getting married the same location I got married. She's using the same singer. So what? Kim needs to find a whole relationship. But men are concerned that if they get in a relationship with Kim, she's going to constantly drag them, talk about them, and blame them. She has issues, just like she's allegedly blaming Kanye for her health concerns. So it's not her business schedule. It's not her work schedule. So pay attention to how they treat Courtney. Pay attention to how they treat Courtney. She's in a whole marriage and she loves her children and she doesn't utilize her children for media attention, clicks, and views. This is Trump giving out candy to the children. Can't play the video music because I think it might be copyrighted music. But as he's giving candy to the kids, the government shut down. It's a beautiful thing to, give kids candy, but the government shut down and there's families that's struggling right now. And I get that they don't want to give food stamps to the illegals. So he may be shutting all that down for people to have to refile. I said that. I said that. I've been saying that. He may have to shut it down for many people to refile because they were giving benefits to people that should have never been given benefits. Sad but true. All those illegals getting all those benefits under the Americans. That's sad of what the whole mess that Kamala and Joe Biden created. And we just did the numbers of how many people that's getting benefits. So it's being reported that Offset owes, look how he's showing his money. It's being reported that Offset, some are trying to say he allegedly going broke. He not going broke. He not going broke. He's showing y'all he not going broke. And then there's another picture of North. She looks beautiful. And like we said, it's an homage to Queen Nasha. But where's Kanye? Has anybody seen Kanye? Where is Kanye? Candace Owens talking about Kanye. Kim is talking about Kanye. Where's Kanye right now? Kanye's not saying anything. And he may be concerned about that documentary coming out. He may be a little hurt about what happened maybe to Charlie Kirk. But yeah, where's Kanye? Where's Kanye? But North looks beautiful. Kim needs to stop putting her children in media though. And she dresses her grown. So sometimes dress her in outfits similar to her. She's a grown woman, she's a child. Sometimes mothers will dress in outfits like their daughter, but a lot of times those outfits, the outfit is to the knee. Kim had her in a miniskirt that's so short that, you know, but people are like, that's their children. Well, you got the Kardashians pushing a standard of beauty on the adults. Then you got the Kardashians that's pushing a standard of what the children are going through. And then you got the weirdos in the background that's looking at her. Okay? So there's a lot going on with the Kardashians. Seeking media attention, wanting media attention, that's what they do. Okay, everyone. I've been live for, let's see, hour 12. I have some things I have to take care of. I hope y'all guys enjoyed the show. Well wishes to North, not sending dislike or hate her way. She's a child. But the Kardashians are putting her in the media. That's the concerning part. They want to stay relevant, so they're utilizing North. I don't care what people say. Kim should not be blaming her health issues or concerns on no Kanye. She is a very busy person. That's what she wants. She wants to trend and go viral. That might be causing that girl stress. Stop using this black girl for media clicks and views, Kardashians. People are going to stay on her neck in regards to giving her backlash because we realize that she has put North in so many unflattering ways. She has dressed her like a man several times. She has dressed her in inappropriate outfits several times. Shouldn't she be focusing on school? But Kim wants her to focus on trending and going viral. Okay, everybody. Let's go to the disclaimer, copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to just do that. I'm cutting it short. Have a great day, everyone. Be blessed. Get the likes up, everyone. There's about 34 in the building. Thanks for being here. Goodbye.